My name's Marc Day. I'm the creative producer and deputy theatre manager of Millfield Arts Centre and the Dugdale Centre. But with regards to Panto, I'm the producer, writer and director of the Millfield Panto and have been for the last 11 pantomimes. My thing about pantomime is that whilst trying to keep it fairly up to date, and that normally comes from music content, that they're traditional. Because of course Panto is a British tradition that goes back many years, and Panto has actually changed. What people think of as Panto tends to be the variation or the way that Panto was done in their childhood when they were taken to the theatre to see Panto. But actually it's changed. So when you go way back to the huge pantomimes that used to happen at Theatre Old Drury Lane, they were more of one series of extravaganza. There'd be waterfalls, there'd be animals and all sorts of things, and it was all about the splendour. And then in between all these huge moments of theatricality would be the plot of the story of the panto. Then we get into where we move on to where celebrities start to get involved. And prior to that was the variety age, where the cast of the panto were normally made up of the touring variety acts of that time. So, for instance, it was not uncommon, for instance, in, let's say, Aladdin, that whoever was playing Abanazar might suddenly do their conjuring act that they normally toured around doing for the other weeks of the year when panto wasn't on. And then this led to where the introduction of names, so then as TV became more popular, and particularly celebrities from television, then they would feature. They tend not to have an act as such, and therefore that starts to diminish. And then today, for Millfield, what it's about is the quality. So we don't necessarily have a huge name. We have a very talented cast and very able cast who are all about the show, entertaining the audience and allowing us to keep some of those traditional aspects, which sometimes are what we call the gags. So there's very old routines within panto, and I actually say to the cast it's a very funny learning process, because with those they're almost like treating a piece of history. And I even explain to them that they need to learn the lines exactly as it is written. Because for some reason, even if you just twist two words around and do them in the opposite order, suddenly the gag doesn't work. And the day that I work out the reason for that, it'll be a happy day. So it's all about treating this material that's been around for many years. Who created it originally? A lot of the time, who knows? And sometimes you are able to adapt them a little bit and it still works, but you have to treat them with kid gloves. So, the Millfield Panto 2019 is Mother Goose, which is a title that's not done that often anymore. However, we decided to do it about 7 years ago and really enjoyed and got great audience feedback. And so that's been the starting point for this year's production. I've tweaked it, I've changed it, so it's not exactly the same. Made a few gender differences as well. Of course, panto is all about men dressing as women and traditionally women dressing as men, and it all gets very confused. But basically, the part of the Demon King this year at Millfield will be the Demon Queen, and so that's one change. And it's very much the dame's panto. Quite often people refer to Mother Goose as the Hamlet of the actor. It's the pantomime dame's ultimate pantomime to be involved, and it is all about that character. This year we have some actual water on stage. We have once again sets that are made specifically here for Millfield and are actually printed. So everything you see pretty much is printed on a huge printer in Germany and then shipped over to us, and is all created digitally by our fantastic set designer, who is Sonoko Abuchi. And then I'm surrounded by an amazing creative team of West End professionals and who look after the music content for me. I choose with a little bit of help from them, and then they work their magic. So I give them a very tough challenge of saying I need this song to then suddenly become this song to then become this song, and that song that's intended to be sung by a lady I want to be sung by a man, and they go away with all this random information I give them and turn it into the fantastic score that you will hear when you come to see Mother Goose. Costumes come all the way from the Isle of Wight. It's not that far, and that's been a tradition here of the Millfield Panto for many years. So Anthony Wright, who is our costume designer, has dressed, out of the 31 years of Millfield Pantos, he's probably dressed about 28 of them, and his workroom all through this year have been busy working away, making some new costumes for us, especially for the actual character of Mother Goose. So again, you get to see those when you come to see the show. And then it's just bringing back all the talents of the cast, the fantastic choreography of Emma Rogers, who again has, apart from two, has choreographed all my pantos here, and we have an amazing chemistry in how we work, and she gets an amazing quality of dance out of the wonderful dancers that we get from Performers College. So, you know, the odd pyrotechnic and the odd sort of confetti cannon and the normal spectacular lighting that we create, which is improved on all the elements we improve on year, certainly that is our aim, and hopefully that then carries through to our audience. So we can guarantee you an amazing time at that special time of year in the run-up to Christmas this year. Joining the cast of Mother Goose, we have some local children. They're in two teams, so it depends which performance you come to as to which you'll see. And as for the kids in the audience, well, of course, there'll be plenty of audience participation, and for the adults too. Something a little bit different that we're doing this year during the Millfield Panto is each weekend we're going to have collections for different charities. So we're in discussions with many local charities, and one that is very personal to me is Brain Tumour Support. So at the end of the performances there'll be a little introduction about the charity of that weekend, their work, and then as people leave there's the opportunity for people to throw some spare loose change into a bucket. My favourite pantomime, well, of course it's Mother Goose, but next year it might change. It might accidentally be Dick Whittington.